Good afternoon. Welcome to our workshop, the Getting Things Done workshop, GTD for short. Let's start with a warm-up, shall we? Let's start with a meditation warm-up. Close your eyes, please, and imagine you have the time and freedom to think about, create, and focus on whatever it is your heart's desire. Dwell there for several moments, imagining yourself doing those things and loving life and the freedom and fulfillment in it. Imagine and create your own story in which you are doing something you dream about, something that pulls at your heartstrings whenever it gets the chance. Imagine that there is nothing keeping you from it. Imagine that your dream is a reality. Are you an artist, a traveler, an author? Have you written a book? Has it gotten published? Are you actually at a book signing in your dream? Are you at an art gallery maybe? Are you at the beach? Wherever, whatever, this is your dream. Imagine it out. What things would you think about if you had your heart's desires? Think on those things for the next minute. If you're watching by video, pause please and spend a minute thinking about those things. Welcome back. As we end our meditation, do not say goodbye to those wonderful things you have been thinking about. I want to introduce you to the GTD method as a way that many others have organized their thoughts. They have been able to experience the reality of the freedom of mind that we have all just imagined. I have my own dreams. I am working towards them. My name is Heather. I'm a graduate student at the University of Southern Maine. I'm also the new director of assisted living at Ocean View at Falmouth. I have struggled with time management for much of my life. I have an overactive imagination, and I reach and stretch for things that I really want in my life. I began practicing the GTD method recently at work when I became the director at Ocean View. I knew that there was no way that I would succeed at my current level of time management and organizational skills. I had been introduced to the GTD method a couple of times over a couple of years. This third time I actually dove into it. And I am here to say that I'm already benefiting from this method. I even have my family doing it as well, little bits and pieces, baby steps in the morning. Right now during this time when all the kids are home in the morning when I'm headed off to work, if I have a task for one of the teens to do, I wait for them to write it down so that I don't have to worry that they'll forget it, and then I make sure that there's a time that they plan on getting their work started. So using the GTD method to clear your mind, to be always in the exact right moment doing exactly the right thing, that's what we're here to do today. With a level of focus and clarity, imagine what you can accomplish. Imagine what you imagined just a moment ago. With this clarity and focus, your life dreams could actually become your reality. But what else is possible? Imagine water and how it flows. David Allen, the author of the book Getting Things Done, speaks of us having a mind like water. You have heard of flow, a state of work in which you move seamlessly from one task to the next, a sweet spot, if you will. David and many others experience this flow from practicing the Getting Things Done method. We have 3 objectives today. First of all, I want to give you a reason to learn about the GTD method, to want to try the method yourself. Those reasons are to succeed at where you're at right now, but also to reach the imagined dreams of yours. Secondly, I of course want to familiarize you with the nuts and bolts of the GTD method. Thirdly, I want to give you some tools to get you started. I want you to walk out that door today looking forward to the first moment you can get started on the GTD method. Using the GTD method to clear the mind and to be always in the exact right moment, doing exactly the right thing. Getting things done is about clearing one's mind and making space for creativity innovation, and being in the moment. At the same time, GTD gives us a surefire method to use our time wisely, to have actionable items at the ready, and to feel really great about how we use our time and how we get things done. The three main steps of the GTD method are capture, process, and review. To capture, you do a mind sweep. You clear your mind, capturing every item on your mind. Get it outside of your mind, whether it be on paper, electronically, or in some combination of both. Wherever you put all of this info, that's your inbox. You then plan a regular time, daily or every couple of days, whatever fits your lifestyle, to process your inbox or inboxes. Processing also involves developing action lists. Processing is done on a regular basis. Each time you write an action item down and put it in your inbox, you're going to be processing that thought. What happens next? Thirdly, you regularly review your process, projects, and actions. You cannot truly keep your mind free and count on your system, your external brain, your inbox, when you have where you've written everything down, unless you are confident that each item will be regularly reviewed and not forgotten. So we talk about a mind sweep. We sweep our mind and capture all of the information in our external brain. It doesn't matter if it's an idea, even a bad idea, or an item you need to order on Amazon, or a plan to revolutionize your home business. Write it all down and put it right into your inbox. The average mid-level executive takes anywhere from 1 to 6 hours to complete this step. So plan an afternoon to clear your mind of all that bogs it down and capture it all in your inbox. Let's try some of this capturing right now. Take the notepad and pen out from under your chair there. I want you to take 3 minutes to write down everything on your mind that you know that you need to act on. I want you to write it on the left side of the page. There could be ideas that are weighing you down, tasks that are left undone, anything from an idea to end world hunger to pick up eggs at the grocery store on my way home. Think about your work, your school, your home life, your physical wellness. Do a sweep into the corners of your mind, the corners where all the unfinished tasks are hiding. Find them, get them, write them down, capture them on your paper. If you're watching by video, stop the video and time yourself 3 minutes. 3 minutes to complete this task. Welcome back. After just 3 minutes, look at all the stuff that has been cluttering your brain. As I said, it takes the average mid-level executive between 1 to 6 hours to do a fairly good job at a mind sweep. It will take a sensible amount of time to process, prioritize, and organize all that information you see there. And you do this, you end up doing it on a regular basis. It becomes a natural aspect of your life to continue in this method every day. This means that daily you have a clear mind to create, innovate, or simply just to be totally present in any and every moment of your choosing. I think that was supposed to be the slide up for that last little spiel when we swept our mind. Once you have captured the many to-do things that are weighing on your mind, it's time to process each one. Look at an item and decide, what is the successful outcome of this idea, project, or thought? Here you can write down every random or orderly thought that pops into your head regarding that subject. Let's try this too. Take 2 minutes, look at what you've captured on the left side and take some time, take the next 2 minutes to write down action steps on the right side. We're going to get you a jump start, get you started on this GTD method right now. And if you're watching by video, stop for 1 or 2 minutes and do just that. All right. As you write down these thoughts, you will begin to order them in your mind. You'll begin to order them by looking at them on the paper. It's time to bring order and calm to your storm. David Allen explains that our minds are not meant for memorization. They are meant for planning and for problem solving. He also explains that our minds get bogged down with the stuff we leave unfinished. And if you can believe it, he explains that as the mind stresses over these unfinished bits, it cannot tell the difference between a monumental unfinished task and a simple reminder to pick up the eggs. Your mind may not be great at remembering everything that you want to put down, but it is really good at organizing and planning. We bog it down. So after our mind sweeps, then what? The key is in believing your system so that you don't mistrust yourself and start putting all of this that you see in your notebooks there back into your brains. You take an item and you decide, is this item actionable? If so, what's the next action? Is it a simple action? If so, you have 3 choices to decide from. Do you do it, do you delegate it, or you defer it? David Allen tells us that if it's an action that takes 2 minutes or less, then we just do it right then and there. Is it an action you need to delegate to someone else? Then send it their way. But there's a caveat here. Don't just send it off. If you do that, you're going to put it back in your mind. Hey, I've got to remember that I emailed Jack and asked him to do that project or asked him to get back to me. Here's a hint for that kind of task. Carbon copy yourself. Then process that email in an electronic folder that you can call pending. We're going to talk about electronic folders and real ones in a minute. You'll need to store stuff somewhere you can trust that you will review, and somewhere that the items will not get lost mentally or physically. For example, if you delegate that task, you have it in the pending folder that I talked about, you'll be reviewing that pending folder on a daily basis, a couple of times a week, like I said, whatever fits your lifestyle, whatever works for you, depending on the deadlines you're up against. You'll have these folders that you've created to suit your needs. If it is an item, an action that you don't want to do in 2 minutes or less, and you are not going to delegate, then you're going to defer it to a later time. Here's where you grab some of those folders. You have a set of folders, lists for various categories, some of them that you are used to, taxes, monthly bills, correspondence, etc. But the trick here is defining the next action or actions. Bills is not an action. Pay the electric bill on the 23rd, that's the action. Call Capital One to dispute the charge on the 23rd, that's the action. Actions can go on an action list in the bills folder. Your calendar can also hold actions that are due at a specific time. But here's a hint, don't junk up your folder with to-do list, or don't junk up your calendar with to-do lists. Items you erase and cross out and put on the next day. David Allen considers his calendar sacred ground. It's good advice. Anything written on that day is a must for that day. Don't clutter it up. If something requires more than just one step, it is in and of itself a project. You will review all of your projects on a regular basis. We outline as many of the steps for our projects as we can think of, and then in putting the action item where it makes sense, whether it's a list or on your calendar or a checklist in the folder or other storage place. As long as the action item's new home is part of our review, we will never be out of luck. We will have the confidence and peace of mind that we need to get things done, that we need to know when things will get done, and we'll know that we're doing exactly the right thing at the right moment. I have project files. Each of them has action lists. Just like your next action items, actions begin with a verb. So if your project is to buy a new car, an action item is not the name of a car dealer. The action item is call Slick Sam's Used Car Dealers at 555-1212. Get all that information right there. My project folders are color-coded. Reds are P1s, yellows are daily, greens are weekly, and blues are what David Allen calls someday maybes. I review and act on my P1 and my dailies. I do that daily. My green folders may be weekly, and my someday maybe folders, the blue ones, well, maybe monthly. We're about, right now, we've kind of taken a step in a P1 direction as we're in the middle of COVID. So sometimes I might not get to the green and blue folders as often as I want to. But the beauty of the process is that I know I will get back to them. I know they're not forgotten. I'm trying to think of an example of one of my folders that I could help you kind of get a picture of. I have a folder that is a wellness initiative, and it is about getting a group of people at work to collaborate on upping the physical fitness of our work team. And so within that, I have a to-do list, and it would be, I believe it was like, I'm going to call Christy from HR, and I'm going to request that she set up the meeting. So that's one action after the other. And then I'm going to write the agenda for the wellness meeting, and then I'm going to forward the agenda to the wellness team. All right. If you've taken your items, all over your items that you have begun to process, if you haven't done them, you have delegated them, or you've deferred them and you've put them in project folders or your calendar, filed and used verbs in your action list. You have just two more things of GTD to consider: regular review, and then finally, we're going to talk about those non-actionable items. Back several slides ago, when you decided that your item was actionable, you may have been wondering, what if it's not? This is where you're going to make three more choices. You're going to eliminate, incubate, or save it for reference. Reference is that stuff of life you may need to refer to later: a phone call, a warranty, a receipt, etc. Eliminate is good old file 13, or preferably the recycle bin. But incubate, what is that exactly? It is that other stuff that maybe even if it requires actions, it is not actionable right now. David Allen refers to this as a someday maybe list. The beauty of it is that even that someday maybe list is part of your regular review. And even more beautiful is that once the GTD method is a regular part of your life, your brain is going to have time for those someday maybes. Your review process is critical to your success. Make a plan. Schedule time to review everything from your to-do boxes to your someday maybe folder. As we have a regular time of reflection and review, we reinforce that confidence that our system works and that no item or action will fall through the cracks. Think of the 4 R's: regular, reflection, review, and reinforce. Reviewing projects weekly or bi-weekly is a good idea. Reviewing items on a sometimes maybe list monthly or quarterly is a good idea. Individualize your review and find out what kind of a timeline works for you. The important thing is that you do it and that your brain can rest knowing that you're going to do it. As you review, you will move forward where it makes sense to you. An exciting aspect of review is finding out you have room, time, and creative energy to move forward on items to move forward on items on your someday maybes list. Remember those hopes and dreams from earlier? You can move forward in making those dreams a reality. Those are your someday maybes. Getting things done is about clearing your mind to make space for creativity, innovation, and being in the moment. At the same time, getting things done gives us a surefire method to use our time wisely, to have actionable items at the ready, and to feel really great about how we spend our time, how we get things done. You've already gotten started. Take your list and get an inbox. Put it in there. It may be ideal to have one item at a time in your inbox, so you take your list and a bunch of scrap paper and write each item on its own page. How about doing this tomorrow morning or Saturday afternoon? And what about our first few minutes? Remember those thoughts, those ideas, those dreams, and those wonderful things? I do have one more thing for you to do. Take a minute to write those down on sheets of paper. You know you have your someday maybe list there. Put it in your inbox too. Process it along with the other things that have been on your mind. There you go. Now you have 2 steps, not just 1 steps, into making those dreams a reality. Thank you very much for coming. Right now we'll take some questions and maybe talk about some hints, talk about the actual book, the Getting Things Done book. It is available on Audible. And yes, and you on video, email me with your questions. The link is on the bottom of the screen. Thank you all very much. Let's take some questions now.